All right, so now I want you all to get back out your people in the courtroom sheet, and we're going to go over a review from what we already filled out. And these are all equally important jobs in our court, and there's one I'm going to add that I'll have you fill in today. So the first, remember, we did was the jury. That's the person who decides whether or not a person is guilty or not guilty, or in a civil case, if they have to pay or return something. Then number 2 we have there is the witness. That's the person that's telling you what they saw, heard, touched, smelled. Then we have the judge right there, the next person in the court. They're going to rule on objections. They're going to give the instructions to the jury. And oftentimes people think, well, the judge is the one that makes the decision. But in our scenario, that's the jury. The judge doesn't decide. Sometimes the judge does. But in almost all the criminal cases we have, the jury decides. Then we have 4 and 5. We put those together. That's going to be the prosecutor or the district attorney. And oftentimes there'll be more than one lawyer there. So in our case, though, we have one prosecutor, and then the investigating officer will be up there with the prosecutor. Then we've got 6, and that is the court reporter, sitting right there, taking down everything that we said. And I know in another video, you got to see a real court reporter and showed you their equipment. And then we've got 7 and 8. That would be the defendant and the defense attorney. And again, the defendant gets to sit there because they have a constitutional right to see who the accuser is and what the witnesses are saying in their trial. You might also remember they don't sit closest to the jury, and that's because they don't have the burden of proof. The prosecution does, and that's why they're closest to the jury. All right, so we did 7 and 8. Now we have 9. That's our courtroom clerk, marks exhibits, gives the oath. My most important person in the courtroom I have, and certainly you met one, Allison, today. Crucial to Judge Cronlin and everything she does. And then number 10, the bailiff. You met a real bailiff. You met Deputy Holman, and that's the person who does keep control and security. And the one person we probably need to add to this diagram at some point is an interpreter. And if they were here, they'd be with the witness, generally speaking. So if you speak another language, oftentimes I'll have Spanish, Punjabi, Arabic. That interpreter, which is their job, will interpret everything that the witness says, and that's then taken down by the court reporter. So make sure you have your diagram filled in. You can use that, and then you can add interpreter there for you. All right.